A big week. I'm watching the headliner, Chase Daniel, the production in college versus the NFL scouting and potential at the next level. Chase Daniel, obviously, huge numbers at Missouri, 30 more touchdown passes he threw this year than Brian Hoyer from Michigan State. But Hoyer's had a better week. If you ask any NFL scout, the ball's jumping off of his hand as well, like McGee's, and I think tonight's going to be a great example between the two of better pro prospects versus college production.
Then take a look at some of the quarterbacks and running backs for the East. Of course, Chase Daniel, as you guys said in the open, put up the historic numbers during his career, threw for over 12,000 yards at Missouri. But Brian Hoyer opened a lot of eyes this week, didn't he?
There's no question. I thought that he was the most impressive and exceeded expectations the most.
And our first look at Brian Hoyer, who really, of all the quarterbacks this past week in practice, may have done the most to impress the NFL scouts. This is his first chance, and a handoff to Javaris Williams, who turns the corner and gets to midfield and picks up a first down. Javaris Williams had a 1,000-yard season and 15 touchdowns at Tennessee State. But Brian Hoyer, Todd, was a big story for the scouts this week.
Completed barely 50% of his throws, had 9 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Just awful numbers as a senior. So you come here in this game, and there's a lot of talk about him and can he compete. But then he comes out, and he's getting rid of the ball quickly, throwing accurately, and all of a sudden the scouts transfer the conversation, start saying, well, he did average about 8 drops per game as a wide receivers, not a good supporting cast. This has been a huge, huge week for Brian Hoyer.
Well, a tremendous amount of drops for Michigan State this year. And Brian Hoyer, I mean, I tell you, he suffered. He was 16-11 as a starter for Michigan State. Was a team captain. I tell you what, he can play. Somebody's got to give him a shot. He's got ideal size and the arm strength certainly there. He can make every throw.
A great fit for a West Coast offense. I think gets rid of the ball quickly, moves around. He's not a great athlete, but well enough in the pocket. I think he'll get drafted in the 4th, maybe 5th round. We'll say somewhere in that range.
Williams from maybe a couple of yards to the 45-yard line. And let's check in with Steve Bunin in our studios. 3rd down and 4. Hoyer rolling, breaks a tackle, floats one down the sideline for Deon Butler, who makes the catch, and he's got a first down inside the 20-yard line.
Well, you talk about competing, and that's what the scouts want to see. When you're in trouble, can you improvise a little bit? And when things aren't ideal, you see the play fake here. All of a sudden, he's got a guy in his face strong enough to come out of a tackle, and watch the touch of Brian Hoyer right there. Nice little drop it right into Deon Butler. That's sweet.
So it's a first down in the red zone for the East. This is the furthest that their offense has penetrated so far here in the first half. Up the middle goes Williams. He's down to about the 15-yard line. And Todd, we start the second quarter here at the 84th East-West Shrine game with the East trying to put the first points of the game on the board. They've got 2nd down and about 7 at the 15-yard line of the West. A draw dancing up the middle, Javaris Williams. He's down inside the 10-yard line, very close to a first down. Kaluka Mayava from USC made the stop. And Todd, the East-West Shrine game often, as you said, about finding those diamonds in the rough. Who are the most improved players this week?
Well, guys who have improved their stock. We talked about Gartrell Johnson averaging about 9 yards per carry so far in this game. Sebastian Vollmer, Andre talked about him in the pregame. Brian Hoyer, already we've seen the difference he's making, moving this offense down the field. Stephen McGee, not playing a lot as a senior, but has had a great week of practice. And Jerron Gilbert, that YouTube sensation that we've fallen in love with this week. Very talented physically.
Now, there was a video there
right now in terms of his draft stats.
Was a first down in the quarterback sneak, so it's 1st and goal. Draw up the middle again for Williams. He gets stood up right in the heart of that West D. He averaged about 104 yards per game. Now it's Marlon Lucky. Gets to the 5, close to the goal line, bouncing off tacklers, and he's in. Marlon Lucky scores the game's first touchdown, and the East takes the lead.
Well, I'm here with Brian Hoyer, quarterback from Michigan State. And Brian, earlier the guys were talking in the booth that, maybe your stats weren't what you wanted for your senior season, but you won. You led your team to a New Year's Day bowl game. What do you hope the scouts see beyond stats for you?
Well, definitely, I think the ultimate measure of a quarterback is his team's record. So to win 2 more games this year, playing a New Year's Day bowl game, I think that shows that I'm a winner. as far as stats are concerned, I had a great opportunity to come down here this week and show my skills. And I think they take that into account when they're looking at your team's record. To take a team like Michigan State, who was down for a couple years, bring them to a 7-5 record and then a 9-4. I think that's important too. So my stats weren't as good, but we got more wins, so it was important to me.
You just had a nice hookup on that last play to Dion Butler, who beat you guys out for a share of the Big Ten championship. How did you guys connect?
Yeah, it was a good scramble drill, and he kind of faked his guy in and went deep, and we hooked up. He's a great receiver, and we got a lot of talented guys here, so I'm looking forward to hook up with some more guys in the rest of the game.
All right, thanks, Brady.
Thank you.
And from one Big Ten player to another.
Over the middle, Mark Hafner, the tight end, has a first down out to midfield, and it's a plus territory.
I ran into Brian Hoyer's dad in the CBS this week. Just loaded up. Been on the road for a while.
No, you're good. That shows complete effort.
Either that or I was tracked down, one of the two. But Mr. Hoyer was a nice man, but he was talking about the process. He said this year was a lot of fun because they were winning. Michigan State was for his son. But then the season ends and all the criticism starts with the NFL draft. He said, this is difficult. He goes, not only on my son, but on me. So I didn't realize how hard this process is going to be. It just gives you the big picture that these young men are all human beings and their families and everyone around this process. It is not easy because of all the exposure. Just think about it. Your first job interview, and everyone in the country in terms of national media and looking who's going to project to what in the next level. It's a very difficult process.
Yeah, you are sliced, diced, dissected, put back together, and
sometimes
everything in between. That's right. It is a tough process.
Striker Shula. East defense did its job. And now the East offense back to work with Brian Hoyer from Michigan State back in at quarterback. And a 4-point lead. Nice play action fake. Escapes the rush and has a lane to the sideline. Hoyer scrambles for a first down.
That's what you want to see your quarterback do. Get out of bounds.
Yeah, don't take that unnecessary lick.
The Stephen McGee approach.
Really. Just get out of bounds, hook, slide, whatever, and come back and live to fight another down. I like Brian Hoyer. I tell you what, he has impressed me all week long, and his ability to get the ball into spots, making every throw.
I came into the week thinking he could be the worst of the 6 quarterbacks here. Honestly, when you watch him, just over 50% of his throws completing, but just couldn't get anything done. And then every day of practice, more and more you like him. Then I started talking to scouts here about imagining things, and they were high on him too. So he is absolutely climbing the boards with his performance.
Marlon Lucky may have lost a yard. Rashawn Harris from Oregon made the stop for the West, and let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, one of the really neat parts of this East-West Shrine game is they present the Pat Tillman Award. Pat, of course, the NFL quarterback who left to serve his country and was tragically killed. And Rory Fanning actually served with Pat, was here.
Just tried to raise awareness in the $3.6 million that Pat gave up.
He gave up that money in NFL salary to go serve his country. And how can people find out more about your
downs for the Black Knights of the Hudson this past year? And here's Hoyer. On the sideline for Butler. Butler adjusts and makes the catch inside the 10-yard line with a flag down on the play as well.
Oh, what an adjustment by Dion Butler. They talked about his hands, and he certainly caught the ball well all week. He's going to run about 4.4, 4.5 for you. Not a big guy, but watch him adjust to this football. Should have been thrown over the outside shoulder. Defensive back. What a drive engineered by Brian Hoyer, the quarterback from Michigan State. A couple of nice tosses in there, and you throw Marlon Lucky in there, Terrell Sutton to finish the drive off.
His best throw was, I guess, an incompletion, but it eventually was called.